Hi friends, welcome back to the tutorial. This is Kishore. In this tutorial, what we are going to learn now, we are going to learn all the departments: modeling, texture, rigging, animation, lighting, and rendering. The basic workflow. So you will understand how the 3D model is developed, how the animation is done, and how the texture is applied to a model, and how the light setup. So all these things you'll understand the basic flow. So but this is not exactly practice class, but this is just understanding. So you will understand that the model, the way we develop the animation, the way we uh, animate, right? Let's start. So I'm just taking a box cube. Okay, here I'm just adjusting, placing over the grid, and I'm just taking a cube depth, width, and height to and see here. Fine. So here what I'm going to show, I will explain what is this vertex and edges and faces. So when we talk about modeling, we will go to the modeling completely scratch to advanced level in the next series of the tutorial. Not this in this Maya basics or fundamental. These are just fundamentals and basics. So actually what we call this is called edge, this is called vertex, a point. So face, which is between the four edges. So this is face. At a time you will be able to move the entire thing, right? Vertex only you can move on one point. So edge you can just move any of edge will be between two points, two vertex, right? So here we have an option, it's called extrude. So shortcut is Control E. I will explain again what is extrude and polygon operations and polygon tools and methods and all again. So here I'm going to make a hammer. See how I'm developing from the cube, I'm developing a hammer. So it requires a lot of observation and understanding and good practice. So you can, I'm just again Control E. We see all these options after next series of the tutorial. Here I'm making a ball hammer. See, according to the to understand that whether the model is good or uh, perfect or not, I'm just navigating perspective to side view to perspective. I hope you are noticing. I mean, you are observing all these things. So, right, when you develop the models or when you do animation, it depends on your requirement. It depends on your comfortable. You can choose whatever you want, views and other tools, or you can also some shortcuts itself. So that helps you make more faster towards project execution and file developments. Perfect. So this is going to be a ball, but I need a handle. Control E. Control E. So your this way we can develop a model from the cube to a hammer. Same way we can also develop a humans, I mean characters or vehicles or sets like stadium, factories or a street, layouts like landscapes. All these things we can develop in modeling department. And props, products like hammers and all these things by cube we have developed hammer. By using the cube we can develop a screwdriver. By using the cube we can develop a human face and completely leg or complete character we can develop by using the cube. By we have some tools and operations and all using those things we can develop completely models. You can see that still, but it is not exactly like a hammer, right? So we have options 1 2 3. I will explain what is 1 2 3. So it's not exactly like a hammer, right? So I'm just making insert edge loop tool here and here and here. Now you can see it's like hammer, right? See here, I should not scale like this. I can scale only in 2 axes so that handle can be little more you know bigger, thicker, right? So this way we have developed this is just very basic, but in next series of the tutorial we are going to start completely modeling classes. So from the scratch, zero to completely again what is polygon and what is surfaces and what is polygon modeling operations and integration operations and converting operations, and we have a lot of things up to character models and up to high res models and all. We are going to learn in sets and characters and vehicles. Everything we are going to learn in completely modeling specialization classes, right? um, Now we are going to see our texturing department. In texturing department where we apply the colors and materials and all. Simple, I'm just taking here planar. For this I'm just giving a material. We have to, if you want to give a texture to the model, before you have to assign a material. So in that material you can apply a texture, right? So before you can simply you can take materials from here. You can see rendering, where you can take a material from here, or you can simply give it like this. This is a little shortcut. Here you can self, that's far better. So take any of one material. I'm just taking a lambert. You can take a file. So I'm just giving something like a ground kind of 4 wireframe, 5 mesh, shaded, 5 shaded, and 6 is texture. I'm just scaling. See how we have applied ground texture to a model. I'm taking a sphere. It's like a ball. For this I'm giving something like a blend material. This in this color we can change color whatever we want, however we want, something like this. Instead of I want to give some ramp color, something 3 4 colors, something here I can done. And this I give white only. Something like this. So you can also adjust the textures like here UV coordinates, click here, you can check how many times it should be repeated, something like 20 times, like this. So these all things we can adjust. This way we can give a texture to a ball like this. So this way we can apply a texture, or a lot of things we can do in texture department. So this is just we got this texture from a JPG image. That JPG image can be a generated by Photoshop, or can be created, or GBrush, anything, or you can also download a perfect image from such any search engine. You can, which one you want, so we can modify or edit, or do some composing with other textures and all. You can assign as a ground or as a wall, whatever. So this, but lot of process is there. We have to do a lot of other sub departments. First of all, we have to clean the model. So see, the word is cleaning. So when we last time we have seen, right, the hammer. When we create the hammer, we use a lot of things like extrude, a lot of tools, extrude, like insert edge loop tool, again offset edge loop tool. We use some of tools to modify that. So when you use the tools, so the history is created at the to the model. So the history should be cleaned. So then once you clean the history, then the model should be unwrapped. The unwrap again comes under texture department. So once you do unwrap, then you have to apply checkers, there's a lot of other departments also there. These all things we will see in texture department, in texture tutorial series in the next time. So this is what texturing. Let's talk about lighting. So this is, here we have a model with texture, and let's talk about more lighting. So 4 is wireframe, 5 is shaded, 6 for texture, and 7 is lighting. There are no lights, so that's what we are. Right, so I'm just taking one point light here. You can take here lights, and you know any of the light, or you can also take directly from here. I'm just taking a point light. um, See here. So 4 is wireframe, 5 shaded, 6 for texture, and 7 for light. Now you can see the lights, how the shadows, shadows are generated. So this way we can do lights. So this way, once you're done with the lighting and all, so you have to do rendering and all. Once you adjusted all the lights, everything, then you have to adjust so I just want to show you the how the lighting. This is completely for beginners only. So this is a fill light. This is a ground light with a no shadows, right? See, like this. So you have seen the difference between before only with single light, and before using these two direction lights, right? So once you're done with the lighting setup and all, you have to give some rendering uh, parameters, what frame to what frame to be rendered. So here, if you want enable, you have to change the name. So here we have single frame, right? Here frame range, we have to use multi frames, like first of all, how many frames to be rendered, name as ext. This we have to choose. So then automatically you can see what frame to what frame to be rendered. So here we have renders, or null renders, and software, hardware, vector, and all. So once you, these all we will see in rendering department when we talk about the rendering classes, rendering completely series, tutorial series. Then so you see this, in this way we can see the render. So So here we are able to see, but for the light also we have to enable shadow, then you can see the rendering lighting. So you can see now you can save it as a save as image. So you can save this one as a image format or video format also you can save by clicking here name as ext, all these things, then you can directly you can get it video format. So it depends on what there are a lot of things in rendering passes and all these things we'll check out. So this way we can do it lighting and rendering. So let's talk about animation and rigging and effects. So first let's talk about rigging. So remember we have discussed about the rigging. We place the bones inside of the model and all. So here what we are doing, we are placing a bones inside of the model. Then we are going to bind to the model. So here I'm just taking go to the rigging. Here you can see skeleton, create a bone. So we have to adjust the orientation axis and all that we will see when we see tutorials. I mean next rigging series. So rigging, then I can handle. So it's like controlling two or more than bones. There are spline I can handle and I can handle. There is a, it is like inverse kinematics. So okay, okay. Anyhow, just this is just example only, right? So select the bone, first model, then shift select the joint, and complete skeleton we have to select. Then you can see skinning. So bind skinning. Then you can see right how this leg we have to do reverse IK, reverse foot controls and all lot of things we have to do. It's not mostly it's completely technical, little the most technical departments in 3D departments. First one is rigging, the second one is FX department, because we have to use many constraints and a lot of algorithms to get the perfect quality or perfect effect or perfect controls. So this is just example only. I hope you understand how we develop the rig by like this. We have to a lot of things we have to do it right. Then we'll see the next one, animation, how it is. So here I'm just taking simply a sphere. So here the first frame, yes, for to insert a key. So when it is at 25th frame, or it must be here, the key is inserted because of we have enabled auto key here. So when the speed is at 30th frame, the speed must be over the ground. And see here how the ball is bouncing, but it is not exactly perfectly. So go to the animation editors, graph editor. Here we have to adjust the curves. So here, before, what I'm doing is unnecessary static channels. I'm just deleting here, delete static channels. So only we have animated in two axes. One is G axis and another one is Y axis. So G is blue color and Y is green color, right? So like this. So for this, what I'm just we have to adjust these tangents. Using these tangents we have to break, then you can, like this. So now you can see the animation. You have noticed, you have observed the before, the animation before and now. So before it was, just lagging like here, and now you can see how it is exactly perfectly like a bouncing, hitting ground, and the very immediately it's making another curve. So still you can make it more, right? Still it's just like, so this way we have to adjust these tangents. So it's very important which axis you are using for see, this way we have to use animations, by using keyframe animations to animate a ball or character has controls. Just now we have seen, right, the leg, it has IK handle, again IK handle to be controlled by other control, that control to be, that by using that control animators they do animation. So all these things we are going to see when we talk about particular department specialization. So once we're done with all the basics and fundamentals and departments, interface, all these things, once we complete, then we'll start very immediately modeling, then texturing, rigging, animation, lighting, all these things. So this way we do animation. There are many other levels of animations. So let's go to the next one, effects. So here what we do, effects, simply just now we have animated, right, just a ball. Here I'm taking so balls like control D, control D, we have many balls, maybe we can take 50, 100 balls also. So now how to animate each and every ball, it's very difficult to animate, right? So for that, what I'm doing, I'm just making a ground and select all of them and go to the effects. Here you can see fields, yeah, and give gravity to all the balls and select the ground. Here you can see passive rigid body. Okay, so again we'll start out all basics in FX department. I just want to, so now you can see how the balls all are random. So here I'm just taking a cone. For this I'm just giving a passive rigid body. This way we can animate balls through the effects. department. So effects, to the effects department, we can also do like braking, blasting, and smoke, fire, and hair simulation for simulation, cloth simulation, and rigid body, which we have done. This is comes under rigid bodies. We can also do a lot of things, feathers, and a lot of things we can do it, effects and all. So this is the most courageous department in 3D, because we have to play with a lot of things, a lot of algorithms, a lot of physics, and with other departments also. Fine. See you next class.